what I'm about to tell you can be debated theologically, and it's not really a hill to die on, but it's just something to consider. It makes no sense that when Eve fell and ate the fruit, the Bible just automatically tells us that Adam ate the fruit too. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. Some people say he was there when Eve was being tempted. I don't think so. Because the Bible tells us that he was given the fruit does not mean he was there all the while. Temptation doesn't necessarily work that way. And if you understand how Bible narration works, the fact that he just flowed to the fact that he ate the fruit does not mean he was there all the while. Why did he eat the fruit? Well, first and foremost, it is easier to fall into temptation when someone close to you has fallen also. But then there is something else to consider. Especially when you consider that this was the first Adam and Christ was the second Adam. If Adam did not eat the fruit, God wouldn't have had to reset all of humanity. Eve alone will die, and God can just make out of Adam a new wife. And so there are many theologians that believe that Adam ate the fruit to save Eve. Whatever you are going to do to her, you must do to me too. In his sense, he died for her. In a sense, he died for her. And whilst you might want to vacillate about that opinion, I think it makes a compelling case. There is a level of sacrifice and empathy that is required to make marriage work. Sacrifice and empathy. Culture is setting us up for failure. There are cultural expectations that are very selfish. I know that you want a woman who looks like an hourglass. Her waist is very slim, but you want a woman with slim waist, but you want her to give birth to 5 children. Are you not wicked? How did the two go hand in hand? How do you want a flat stomach to birth 5 children for you? There are some cultural suggestions that are just wicked and unrealistic. Is it that easy? We have created men of fickle interests. Any small thing, she's not really aesthetically pleasing. It's your fault. She carried your children. Wake up. And we need more real men, more considerate men. That listen, that body you like, that made you ask her out, it will change. When she breastfeeds your children, she will not look the same. It may not even feel the same. Do you know what it means? Oh my God, you only need to be in a labor room to have a new profound respect for women. You see, you can read it in biology textbooks. It's not the same. You have to witness it. You just have to witness it. And the biology of women is very, very interesting. It's very scary. Don't worry, I'm sure they're okay. There might be a woman seated beside you. As she's seated beside you, another human being is growing inside her. Do you know how phenomenal that is? And the level of hormonal changes she has to deal with. Be considerate. Be empathetic. And it doesn't only apply to women also. It applies to men. Men carry burdens that will be difficult for women to understand. He can carry 10,000 burdens. Things that he cannot even explain to you. It takes a lot to at least have the sense of responsibility. That the faith of your family is on your shoulder. It's a burden. And even if you think you are doing well financially, he still wants to be the one to help. It's still his responsibility. It's a burden. It's a burden. Show him support. When he comes back from work, see, master timing and master tone. It is not as he's entering after a long day at work, as he opens the door like this, complain. Don't do that. Yet you want him to feel safe around you. You want the house to be a safe haven. It won't work that way. Amen, somebody. So at the end of the day, we have to learn to bring out the best in each other. You know, I preached a sermon 2 years ago. The name is Michelangelo. And this is the idea, very powerful idea. One of the greatest sculptures in the history of humanity is named David, and it's very powerful. Because there was a giant stone. And every other sculptor did not think that stone was useful. They saw some defects and impediments in the stone. But you see, when Michelangelo saw the stone, he saw a potential in it that no one else saw. And he got his chisel and carved out David from it, the sculptor of David from it. Which is very ironic, because it was David who said, the stones that the builders have rejected has become the chief cornerstone. And what if you had that perspective in marriage? Let me tell you something. The same person that you think cannot change, is irrecoverable, in the hands of the right spouse. Someone who, instead of complaining, sees this as an opportunity for work. What if both partners entered into marriage with their own chisel instead of complaining? The man that you ought to be, by my nurture and by my care, I will carve out that man from you. The woman that you ought to be, by my nurture and by my care, I will carve out that woman from you. And guess what? That's what the Bible teaches. By the washing of water by the word, present your bride without having spots or wrinkles or any such thing. That everything that you have been complaining about is your opportunity for ministry. The problem is you entered the marriage to be entertained instead of to work. That's why you're there. That's why. Bring out the best in your spouse. Stop complaining. Bring out the best in your partner. Do the work. For marriage to work, we must recognize the difference between motivation and discipline. And these are the things that the movies don't tell us about. Everything is exaggerated. Everything is hinged on feelings. Do you know that 90% of marriage success is hinged on the boring stuff? Even sex. Have you heard? Oh my God. Yeah, this is adult church now. There is something called routine sex. Routine. It's in the movies. There are two people. All their feelings are just all over the place. They hold each other and they're scattering things. There will be laptop on the table. They will just scatter it. Wow! And they just carry the woman, put on gas cooker. You know? Start tearing clothes. Tearing clothes in this economy. You see? And that is why you must protect yourself from dysfunctions. There's some energy you bring in the home. They will know you have been watching porn. Small love making, you don't slap me. Why? Why? Who has deceived you? That you want to spice things up? If not me, I say no problem. Next time I bring cane, long one. I want to also spice it up. I flog your left ear. It doesn't work. See, let me tell you something. They are lying to you. They are programming you for success. Do you know it is a scientific fact that the average man does not last more than 2.5 minutes in penetrative sex? What I am telling you is a scientific fact. They will lie to you. It's a lie. My friend, you're not an athlete. It's love making. Enjoy each other and don't stress yourself. It's supposed to be longer. How do you know? Are there things about your past you have not yet told me? How do you know? How do you know it's not good? Just saying though. The routine, the structure. When the butterflies are not there, at least I respect you as a person. At least, or if possible, even better, you are my friend. Statistically, marriages that last and stand the test of time, they are tied to a purpose. There is a purpose that unites them together. So you cannot just stand up whimsically and say, you spoiled my charger and leave. That's the type of generation we are living in.